Hello and welcome to this week's episode of United by Red. A week that's seen Spurs and Man United qualified for a European final. Arsenal confirmed that they're not going to win a trophy, and Alpine have been very, very Alpine.
Can we just start off by saying, I know we call ourselves United by Red, but you are officially the reddest presenter ever.
Because the UK is bathing in this thing behind me, which apparently is called the sun. And we have a lot
it's quite
of it
nice,
right
now. I'm not sure if you've come across it before, but it is quite a nice
Not
concept.
as often as some nations do, but currently it is hot, it is sunny, and it will be for the next 10 days. So things in the world are quite strange.
So by the 21st of May, that's just summer over. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it won't last much beyond that because as we reach the 28th of May, there's a bank holiday and then it will snow. But there we go. That's living in the United Kingdom.
Fantastic.
But yes, a week of Arsenal have failed again, and two of the worst Premier League teams in history are in a European final. Interesting.
Well, I mean, Arsenal did say that they wouldn't win anything and they're not good enough. And in the same way that they played so well against Real Madrid and did exactly what they needed to do, I think they did the total opposite against Paris. I thought they would. I don't think they tried. Well, I'm not saying they tried. That's the wrong way of putting it in. They went about it all wrong. They just looked defeated from the minute they stepped on the pitch.
Yeah, the home leg was the troubling one for me. They went into that very negative,
That's Arsenal. That's what Arsenal do.
Against
Real Madrid in the last round, they went into it very not Arsenal, very Man City-esque or Chelsea-esque or Man United of the old days-esque. Went for it, put them to bed, played brilliant, and then reverted to type in this round and just went back to, we're a bit scared. We'll go back to being Arsenal.
Yeah, and it didn't work. I mean, Arteta's comments of we were the better team over the two legs. Well, you weren't because they scored 3 goals and you scored 1. So by my reckoning, they won.
And they missed 2 1-on-1s in the first leg at the end that could have made it 3-0. So it could have been all over by the shouting by the time they even started the second leg.
Yes.
Listen, these tournaments, the best teams get to the final. That's the way it works. You know, it doesn't matter. It's like the Premier League. The best team wins the Premier League at the end, don't they?
Although you did at one stage say PSG are not that good and Inter are terrible.
I've said it all the way through. I don't rate PSG at all. And now in the final, I also said Inter are crap. So there you go. You're welcome.
You strike again. And then two teams that
are about 10 weeks ago. I said Inter were rubbish and they were boring to watch, and PSG were just a flash in the pan and weren't good enough. And both of them in final.
And the Inter Barcelona both ties were two of the best games I've watched all season by far.
The second Inter Barcelona game was like Man United against Leon the other week, wasn't it? It's like both teams had won it, and then it just
both teams had lost it.
It was chaos, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they're the sort of games you want, aren't they? I mean, all this format change that we've had, and the best games have come in the knockout phase, which is exactly the same as it has been for the last 20 years.
Yeah, and
we should have left it alone.
It was interesting to see two teams go at it, hell for leather, at pace, not spending 400 hours passing it between the goalkeeper and the centre half. And what did we actually get? We got 2 very good games of football to watch, which I haven't said very often this season because a lot of it's been poor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they don't concentrate on defending. They don't particularly think about, playing in the sort of their own defensive third. It's all about playing in the attacking third. And it's all about we score 5, you score 4. Everyone has a bit of fun and somebody will go through. And
it was brilliant to watch.
Brilliant to watch. I think there's been a few games. I mean, I've watched. Who did Barcelona play in the last round?
Then
Dortmund.
Dortmund, yes.
Dortmund. I mean, that were great. Just the Barcelona games have been great. I thought the Real Madrid Atletico game were great, and the Real Madrid Arsenal game were great. It was a similar type of thing. Just let's all go for it, hell for leather, and somebody will end up winning at some point.
I mean, I think the Barcelona team now that we're currently watching is beginning to look like Barcelona of old again. They've got a lot of very good young players.
I said the other week, a good Real Madrid team and a good Barcelona team, you can pick holes in their defence but you can't pick holes in their attack. And I think that's where Barcelona are at the minute.
Yeah.
The only problem is they have to get lucky, don't they? Because they can't defend. They're so bad at the back. They defend like a team of 12-year-olds. But you're going to struggle to find a better functioning forward line. Probably Liverpool are closest, but better functioning forward line than Barcelona's right now. They are just formidable, aren't they?
Well, yeah, because they've got a ridiculously talented 12-year-old up front who
Yeah, I mean,
apparently is
he's
going
still
to
not
take over
18
the
yet, is he?
world. No, it's ridiculous, and he's played 100 games already.
Yeah, I didn't send you the stat the other day. It showed you how many goals and assists he got. I think Ronaldo had got 12 at this age. Messi had got 8, and he's got 50 goals and assists, or 56
It's
goals
just
and assists.
ridiculous.
I'm like, this guy's mental, isn't he? And he's not even fully grown yet, is he? He's not even a fully grown man yet. He's
No,
still a
and
child.
he's got the potential to rule football for a very long time if his trajectory carries on the way that it currently appears to be going.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I mean,
he's still young; things could change.
next
But
season, I will pay the subscription to watch the Spanish league now, just so I can watch Barcelona and like Yamal. And like I say, I'm a more Real fan than I am Barcelona fan, but he's just worth watching every week. Just
absolutely,
fantastic to watch. Yeah, if you can watch him, that's the epitome of watching football, really, isn't it?
I mean, and we've sat here as England fans saying we've got some great young players. No, we don't. Not compared to him. We don't have
No,
anything.
there's nothing.
We've literally
We've got
got
nothing.
nothing.
But even if we did have him, I mean, if Yamal had turned out to be English, and I haven't come across any English people call Yamal, but if he did turn out to be English, we'd have ruined him by playing him at left back or subbing him for a right. We'd have ruined him, wouldn't we, by doing something we shouldn't do with him, like criticising him or saying we can't play Yamal in the same team as we play Harry Maguire because they clash, or some random crap we come out with, which means Yamal would have been sacrificed. Spain have found a young player, and what do? They play him. I know that people saying, "Oh, he might be overplaying." Who gives a fuck? The kid wants to play football. Let him play football. In England, we find a young talent, and it's, "Oh, what do we do with him? Where do we play him?" Just play him in his position as many times as he wants to play, and just let him come on as a footballer.
Absolutely.
Barcelona haven't had to go out and spend 200 million on this kid. They've found him in the youth ranks and they've brought him through. And as soon as he was good enough, they've played him. We're shit scared to do that in England. It's almost like going against the rule book to play somebody who's a young, decent talent. We have to buy the if we pay 70 million for him, it's fine to play him. But if he's free and he's come through your academy, let's not play. We can't play him. It's not a way to do it. It's against the rule. It's mental. Absolutely mental.
Yeah, they've definitely adopted your youth system policy of Barcelona right now. They've found a
They've
young
got to
player.
because they've got absolutely I mean, they've got less money than this chair that I'm sat on, but it's the way forward. It definitely is the way forward. Look, I said this to somebody earlier this week, right? In football, right? Just think about this, right? Every player comes through an academy. Everyone, right? Every single one comes through an academy. So all you've got to do, and I know I'm making it very sound very simple here, is pick the players and bring them through your academy. Everyone comes through. It doesn't matter if it's Haaland coming through in Norway. It doesn't matter if it's Yamal coming through in Spain or wherever he came through. They've all just come through an academy. All you've got to do is find them first. So get out there and instead of spending 100 million on a flop like Haaland or Hoyland, whoever it's called, spend 100 million on getting out there and finding these players because they're all there. There's no secret code to it. They're all literally sat in an academy right now. The next best striker in the world is in somebody's academy right now. Why is he not in Arsenal's or Man United's or Man City's? Why are they going to wait and pay 80 million for him in 2 years' time? Just lazy.
It's the way of the world, unfortunately. But you can't call Hoyland a flop. He scored on Thursday night from a yard.
I mean, to be fair, he tried to miss. He had to have 2 digs at it from 2 yards out, didn't he? No, to be fair, I'm not digging him out because he does work hard. He's just severely lacking in any quality at the moment and ability. Yeah, he's struggling, but he keeps putting a shift in, and that's all you can ask, I suppose, at the minute. We've got nobody else, but yeah, Arsenal are doomed, aren't they?
I don't understand how, though, we've got into a situation coming to the end of the season where you've been awful, let's be honest. Spurs have been worse, and you're in
Spurs
a
are still
European
below us,
final.
aren't
I don't know how we've got to this point.
It's a bit like last season, isn't it, under Ten Hag? I mean, they weren't particularly great, all right, weren't this bad, and we win the FA Cup. It's just the way things fall. I don't know. I mean, we should have gone out against Leon. It were all against us, and then we end up getting through. And then Bilbao was an absolute breeze in the end. You just don't know with football. It's the weirdest game in the world sometimes, isn't it? It's like Leicester winning the Premier League. How does that happen? And now they're relegated for a second time since they've won it.
Yeah, it's all just very, very unusual.
With all due respect to Arsenal, if you look at them and how they've been playing and the time they've had with their manager, they should have been winning a number of trophies, and they're not. Can you really explain that? You can't, can you?
Yes, I can. They've never bought a striker in 5 years, which is blatantly obvious that they need.
Well, I say this again. We've just been through this. Are you telling me in 5 years they've not had one striker in their academy that they could have played?
Eddie Nketiah, and he's crap.
They've got to have had more than that. They've got to have had more. How many strikers a year are they producing at Arsenal's academy? They've got to be one in under 18s. They've got to be one in under 16s. They've got to be one in under 21s. They've got to be 3 a year there, at least. You're not telling me they've only got one in each age category. You can't tell me that in 5 years they've not had at least 20 strikers in their youth team and not one of them has been good enough. Well, some of them are failing then, aren't they?
Yeah, they're either picking the wrong academy players or they're missing a talent that's staring them in the face. It's one or the other.
I mean, they've sold 2 of them to Man United, haven't they?
Yes, they have. That is
Obi,
true.
and they sold the centre half who got injured the other week, who looks absolutely colossal before he got injured and he did his knee. His name I can't remember. Haven.
Yes.
Is he called?
Yeah.
I mean, he looks unbelievable. So I don't know. There must be a reason why they've sold him. But if you're struggling for talent, you don't want to be releasing that sort of talent, do you?
No. And I don't really know where Arteta goes from here. He's built a squad that he thinks is working. So he's very strong at the back. He's got what you'd call a reasonably strong midfield. He is only missing a striker, but if the players he's got get frustrated with not winning, could the progress that he has had all of a sudden unravel quite quickly? If Odegaard has enough and goes to Spain, if Saka gets drawn to Madrid, Barcelona, just giving examples. If Rice decides...
Is it the centre? Which centre half is it that's touted to go to Real Madrid? It's Saliba. I suppose the Real Madrid are after him, aren't they?
Yeah, so if Saliba or Gabriel, I don't know.
They're going to move on, aren't they? Because 5 years without a trophy is ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, we ran through a list of teams last week who'd won trophies in that time, and 80% of them were worse than Arsenal. Some of them considerably worse than Arsenal. I mean, Man U or Tottenham will now win a trophy this season.
And get Champions League football.
And have Champions League football. Arsenal will have gone 5 years without anything. I mean, since they kicked Aubameyang out of the club, which I agree was the right thing to do, they haven't won anything and they haven't replaced him.
No. I got for a while the Arsenal fans' perspective and point of view of he's building something and we've got to trust it, which for 2 seasons, fine.
You
but
agree.
For 5...
You've got to give these managers time. I can't sit here and say don't sack Ten Hag and then sit here and say you've got to sack Arteta. But my problem is more they're lauding him, or they were up until this week, as like something so special. And yeah, he seems to be a decent manager, but he's not winning anything, so he's not that good, is he?
No. And eventually, if, say, we look back in 20 years' time, say he leaves at the end of next season with having 6 seasons and no trophies within those 6 years. In 20 years' time, everybody's just going to look back and go, well, he were a failure. Regardless of how people view it right now.
I'll remember. I'll be senile by then. I'll not be able to remember. I'll not be able to remember where I live.
They won't look back and go, he built something and there was a good process. It will be, well, he didn't win anything. He failed.
I said this to you the other week, don't you? Football's about winning. Nobody remembers who came unless you're a fan, you don't remember who came third in the 94-95 season. Most people will be able to tell you most of the Premier League winners over the course of the last 2 decades. Most people won't be able to tell you who finished second and third because no one cares.
Exactly.
It's like Champions League. So I say we're the best team in the Champions League. Fantastic, Mikel Arteta. What does that get you? Nothing. Will anyone next year think, remember that really good Arsenal team that finished 4th in Champions League? Oh, they were just so good, weren't they? They won't, will they? What a stupid comment. It's like Man United play Tottenham next week, right? I'm not going to laud the Europa League as anything special. I'm not one of them fans that's suddenly going to make it out to be something. It's a trophy you win because you weren't good enough to win the Champions League. But if Man United win it, you've got to pat them on the back and say, well done. You've won a trophy. That'll be 3 trophies in 3 years in the worst period of Man United's history in my lifetime. If they don't win it, it's a total failure. And that's it. There's no other way around it. If we finish 15th, 16th or 17th and we don't win a trophy, it's a failure. There's no, we're building for next season. That's bullshit, right? You win trophies here and now. They need to win that trophy next week. Is it next week, week after?
Next week.
Otherwise, it's a failure. And the same goes for Tottenham, doesn't it? And Postecoglou will probably lose his job if he doesn't win it.
Yeah. The
Whereas Amarim probably won't.
concerning bit, I suppose, for United is some of the manager's comments of you lost to Brentford last
Brentford,
weekend,
yeah.
and
Last
basically
this time or
came out
something.
and said, "Well, we couldn't focus on this game. We've got a game at end of week." That's football. You have a continuous line of fixtures.
You
You
do,
don't
but I
just
think
pick, pick
I
and
think
choose
ever
which
since
ones
he
you want
come
to
in,
pay
his
attention
problem's
to.
been he's almost been too honest, hasn't he?
Yeah,
It's almost like basically what he's saying is I don't give a flying fuck about playing Brentford because it means nothing to me at all. And the only game I'm interested in is the game in midweek, which everyone kind of understands. But I suppose you're not supposed to come out and really say that, are you? You're supposed to give the line of every game matters. We'll play to the end of the season. We're here to win. It was basically he's just come out and said it's almost like he's said what he's thinking rather than thinking and then speaking afterwards. It's just flown out of his mouth, and he's thought. But he's done that ever since he came in. He's this is the worst Man United team, and this is the worst team I've managed, and he's been quite frank with his comments, hasn't he? But
he has, yeah, and it's occasionally to his detriment, I suppose, because it comes across as lacking confidence in the team that you've got, lacking belief that you can do anything, an apparent
yeah, I
inability
think
to
once
play
again
2 games in a
he's
week.
being honest, isn't he? It's not what you should say, but he is telling you pretty much what he thinks. The team
True.
is shit. Some people will like it, some people won't like it. Frankly, I think press conferences are just a total waste of time anyway. I don't even know why we have them. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's just a media thing, But if they're gonna ask him a question, he's either got to lie and say, it means something, or he tells you the truth. I suppose some people like it one way, some people like it the other, don't they? Frankly, I don't listen to the press conferences because I think they're just a waste of time.
But speaking of you potentially winning the Europa League, yeah, that is the right one, and whether it's a success or not, and it then getting you into Europe next year, which it will get you into the Champions League. I then did a little bit of looking of who will make Europe next season from England. Now, a couple of these scenarios haven't played out.
Is it 8
But,
teams or something?
well, if it had played out properly, we would have had 10 teams from the Premier League in Europe next season. Half the league would have made European competition.
I know they said 8. I know they said 8th would get you in because City would win the FA Cup.
Yeah,
And
so
Man United would get in 9th.
and then there was a
The 9th
possibility of the
team.
10th. So how it would have worked out is Liverpool, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, and Man City would have needed to be in the top 5 in the league. So they would have
Yeah.
automatically made the Champions League. That's your top 5.
So why do the top 5 automatically get Champions League now?
So
Why
it's
5?
always 4,
4.
but because of our coefficient ranking in Europe of how well we've done in the European competitions, we're given the extra place because we need
And
to fill
obviously
all these
everyone's
places.
aware that our coefficient is 4 million point. I mean,
2. Yes, I've no idea. Aston Villa or Brighton would have then had to take 6th place, meaning they would have got into the Europa League.
right.
Bournemouth then finished 7th, which they would take the Conference League spot ahead of Newcastle because they won the League Cup, but Newcastle were in the top 5. And then the scenario would require Chelsea to finish 8th while also qualifying for next season's Europa League by winning the Conference League.
Oh, yeah, because they'll win that, won't they?
Yeah, and then Crystal Palace would qualify for the Europa League by beating Man City in the FA Cup.
Right.
And then you or Spurs winning the UEFA Cup got you in the Champions League. So literally, we could have had half the Premier League playing in Europe if it had all gone out as.
I mean, I
what was
understand in a
potential.
certain way that if you win the Europa League, you should get back in the Europa League next season because you're kind of stupid to not be able to defend your trophy. But you don't, do you? You get in the Champions League, which is mental. So if Man United win the Europa League, we'll have 6 teams in the Champions League. Is that right?
Yes. Even or if Spurs win it, whichever one, it doesn't matter now, there's 6.
So I take it somebody drops out then because you can still only have the same amount of teams.
Yeah, so I think, if I remember rightly, Italy might have got the extra place this year for the coefficient. So we'll take that. Because obviously the winner of the Europa League is already factored in to be a place for the competition. It's only the coefficient place that we've got the extra place, which I think was Italy this season, and we'll take that spot off them.
But what I'm saying is the winner of the Europa League, if it had been Man City and they finished 3rd, you've got 2 people in one team. So we get 6th place then as well?
I don't know. I
It
can't
just seems
follow
to.
who qualifies for Europe.
I
It's
just I understand you've got. I mean, really, the winner of the Europa League should go back into the Europa League. The winner of Conference League should go back into the Conference, unless you
Yes.
qualified through a ranking tournament elsewhere. I mean, I'm not even sure why you're getting through winning FA Cup. Really, I'm not.
Or the League Cup. League Cup gets you
Not the
UEFA
League
Cup.
Cup. It's like, again, it's just games for the boys, isn't it? It's like literally. I mean, didn't you used to get in at one point if you won the Fair Play Award or something, European Fair Play
Yeah,
Award? You get,
funnily enough, you did. But that's
just why
going
not?
back to the late 90s. So I believe Sheffield Wednesday nearly made
Did,
Europe by the Fair Play League.
did West Ham not make Europe by the Fair Play League about 4 or 5 seasons ago?
I'm not sure because I don't even know if it still exists, but I know it was a
I'm
thing
pretty sure it
historically.
did. I'm pretty sure West Ham made Europe for the Fair Play League not long since.
But yeah, it's just
It's,
the
yeah.
fact now that you've got to have 108 teams in Europe means you do have to come up with
I mean,
innovative ways to
why
get them
don't they
all in.
say the champions of each? I mean, I'm simplifying stuff again here. Champions of your leagues go into the Champions League. The winner of your big domestic trophy goes into the Europa League and second place. And I don't know, you just throw anyone in the Conference League. Nobody wants to actually play in it, do they? I
Got a
mean,
better idea. Do away with the Conference League because it's
yeah,
utterly
well, they
pointless.
should do away with the Conference League because I think that even the Europa League diminishes European football a little bit. But I understand there's a lot of teams. But the fact that everyone plays in the Champions League, if you can finish 6th and play in the Champions League, or even worse, if you can finish 17th and play in the Champions League, then why not just let everyone play in the Champions League that qualifies for Europe and do away with all the other ones? Because they're just pointless.
We're at the stage where we might as well not have domestic leagues and everybody should play together in one big
Play
European
Europe,
league.
one big European league, like a 240 team league. Where like week 1 you can be first and week 2 you can be 119th because you've lost by 4-0, and it's like, yeah, that'd be fantastic.
I
Just
mean,
make it
we're getting to that stage.
it just diminishes the achievement, doesn't it,
Yes,
of
absolutely.
qualifying for Europe. Like we say, with all due respect to Bournemouth or Palace, if you're finishing 8th and 9th in the league, you shouldn't be playing European football.
No,
Not that they don't deserve to, because they've been brilliant, but 8th in any league is not a success. I don't care who you are. Finishing
no,
8th
it's not.
is rubbish. Same again, if you finish 17th and win a Europa League, there's got to be some sense in that says you can't play in the Champions League. You're not the champions of anything other than the Europa League. You should go back into the Europa League, don't you?
Yeah,
That's the best
absolutely.
you can get. You can't, if you haven't qualified for the Champions League through your league phase, you shouldn't be allowed in it. I don't care what you win. It's just, and Postecoglou said the other day, the rules, and I'm not having to go at Man U or Tottenham, so I'm a Man United fan. I want us in the Champions League. But the rule is wrong. Wenger's right that the rule is wrong, but the rule is there, and people just got to get on with it. But it does, even from a Man United fan, it just seems stupid that we can finish probably 15th, I think we're going to finish, and we're going to be in the Champions League because we've won a trophy that's not linked to the Champions League.
Yes, it is very ridiculous, but it's the world we're living in now where they want that many teams in Europe that everybody can qualify
You would
somehow.
think
I
that
mean,
they'd want to hold the prestige of the tournament, wouldn't they?
yeah, but they don't because money's more
They make it
important.
for the elite so that it draws in the people that just want to watch that elite level of football. Nobody wants to watch Bodo Glint against Tottenham Hotspur, do they? Nobody wants. I mean, I don't even think Tottenham fans were bothered. I don't know what Bodo Glint fans think. I don't even know if there's such a thing, but it looked very cold. It looked very plastic. It looked fucking horrible, to be fair. And the fact that they're at the start of their season and we're at the end makes it all a bit of a farce as well. They're not even playing in the same fucking
I don't think
league.
they can play their league when we play ours because it's about a
But then we
minus
shouldn't be competing,
140
should we,
degrees.
really? They're in game 4, we're in game probably 50 odd. It's not really a level playing field, is it? We're sort of 2 poles apart, aren't we?
Oh yeah,
It's
absolutely.
all very, very weird. But it is football.
But I suppose then in other news, still related to football this week, Trent announced he is leaving Liverpool and he is off to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it, isn't there? You're born in Liverpool, you'd think you'd stay, but do you turn down Real Madrid?
I think he's doing the right thing. He's won everything there is to win at Liverpool. He wants a new challenge. I think the only entity that's done anything wrong in this whole scenario is the club. They should have agreed this a while ago and tried to sell him. Yes, you can't
We
force him
said
to
this.
leave.
Didn't we say this a while ago? I
Yeah.
think Liverpool thought he would stay. I think they were going to play on the you're a Liverpool lad, you're playing for Liverpool, you're going to be a legend, and I think they thought they were going to convince him to sign a new contract and then probably sell him to Real Madrid next summer for some stupid money, and it hasn't played out, has it?
No, they've told him they've either misread what he's saying to them, they haven't offered a contract, or they've just. I don't know. I don't understand how we've ended up with.
But again, how have they got him for free? How would Real Madrid keep back getting people for nothing?
Yeah, they've done it again.
I mean, they've got Mbappe for free. They've got Trent. I mean, when you say free, they haven't got him free, have they? Because he'll get a fucking absolutely wonging wad of money. But they
Yeah.
haven't paid a club. They haven't had to negotiate a fee with a club, have they? They've had to probably pay him 50% of what they've had to pay in a transfer fee. I mean, Trent's just going to land an absolute crazy amount of money, isn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they're
So,
trying to get him to sign before the World Club Cup so he can go out to America and play in that nonsense as well.
yeah.
That we all don't want to watch. And luckily,
No, it all
it's on
seems,
DAZN.
like I say, I'm not sure if you're a professional footballer, you're realistically going to turn down Real Madrid.
Oh, absolutely not. No, there's no.
People trying to say, "Oh, he'd be a legend," could stay and be like Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher was never getting signed to Real Madrid. Nobody ever tried to sign Jamie Carragher, so we can't compare the two people, can you? It's just like Gary Neville. No one ever tried to buy Gary Neville. He was a legend for United and a fantastic footballer for us, but Real Madrid were never looking at Gary Neville thinking, you know what we need? We need Gary Neville. Trent's a different animal, isn't it, for them? They think he's the type of player they want. I don't think you're going to say no to Real Madrid.
And if he goes there having won the league twice with Liverpool, he's won the
Yeah.
Champions League with Liverpool. He then goes to Spain, wins the league with them, win the Champions League with them. He's building a legacy of I've done it in, at home, I've done it abroad, I've won leagues in various countries. He's kind of building a legacy and a narrative around himself that he's had an unbelievable career.
All the Liverpool fans want to spin the loyalty card, but if Liverpool haven't offered him a contract at the time when they should have been offering him a contract, there's no loyalty from the club to him, is there?
No.
It goes both ways, doesn't it? And everyone will jump on footballers, and they are overpaid and they are pretentious knobheads, most of them. But everyone will jump on football and say you should be loyal to Liverpool. But if a year ago, when in the last year of his contract, Liverpool sat down and said, "We'll pay you going rate for a world-class right back, if there is such a thing," then where's the loyalty from the club? At the end of the day, this is a job to him.
Absolutely.
If you had a fixed term contract at your job and you got into the last 6 months and they'd not sat down with you, you'd go and get another job. And if someone turns to where's the loyalty to the company? Well, where's the loyalty from the company to you to make sure that you've got yourself fixed for the future? And I know these guys aren't looking at it, because they've got the gas bill to pay next week, but it's the same principles to them, isn't it? They want
absolutely.
to know where their future lies. He's got a family, he's got friends, probably got kids. He can't just rock up 6 weeks before the end of the season and go, "Well, let's go to Real Madrid then." He's got to plan his life. So it works both ways. Liverpool should have sat down with him with 18 months to go, put a contract on the table and said, sign it. And if they did and it wasn't right, then it should have come out then that it were going to leave. And Liverpool should have sold him a year ago, got financial remuneration for him, and everyone knew where they were. But they've played the long game, tried to be clever, and it's backfired.
Well, yeah, because all he's done is just sat and waited for it to run down, knowing that then he becomes even more of an approachable target for the likes of Real Madrid because they're thinking, we've always liked him and we can get him for nothing. Amazing.
To be fair to Trent, he's kept his head down. He doesn't jump out in the media. He's not all over the media saying, "I want this, I want that, I should be doing this, should be doing that." He's not particularly troublesome. You don't see him in the papers every week doing this, that, and the other. So I don't think he's done anything wrong at all. He's not my cup of tea. I don't particularly rate him as a world-class footballer. I think he's a bit of a mismatch of a midfielder and a right back, and he's some people's cup of tea. He's not mine. But as a person and as a professional, he's done everything he needs to do.
Absolutely. And I think if he goes on to be successful at Madrid, then fair enough, good luck to him. I can't fault what he's done. I think he's won everything he can win at Liverpool and he's gone on to take a new challenge, which fair enough. He'll earn a lot of money doing it. He'll be set up for life forever now, and that'll be him. And he will still return to Liverpool probably once the dust settled in a few years' time as a legend of Liverpool for what he did there and for what he's won. So I don't really see that he'll have any negatives to it. Yes, the fans will be upset now and he shouldn't have left and how dare you walk away from such a big club. Well, unfortunately, Real Madrid are probably the biggest club
Fans are like that,
in the
aren't
world.
they? Fans are like that, with David Beckham. Fans are like that with Ronaldo. Fans get like that because they think there's a divine right for that player to do, give his life to the football club just because they support the football club.
Because we are all a very fickle bunch.
He's there to do what's best for him and his family.
Absolutely.
Not for Liverpool, not do what Jamie Carragher wants or Michael Owen wants or what you want. He's there to do what he wants, and it's a two-way street, isn't it? Pay him what he thinks he's deserving, or let him leave.
And they've chosen to let him go.
I've got a first in United by Red podcast. You're going to have to occupy yourself a second. I need to get some power. I'm about to run out of battery.
I mean, I know you live on the other side of the world and it's upside down, but I'm pretty sure you still have electricity, which apparently you forgot to provide while creating a sports podcast, which does mean I'm now going to sit here and ramble some filler until my co-host returns, as I'm currently looking at an empty chair while he runs around like a buffoon to find some power.
I just realised it said going into battery saving mode. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, that's better.
Yes, having electricity
Ferrari, then.
will be a lot better.
Panic mode as soon as the strategy went wrong. Did you watch Everton? And I'm not going to lie, I've only watched brief highlights myself. Did the referee go to VAR and then not give a penalty?
I haven't seen anything from yesterday. Oh, that's a lie. I've seen the Bournemouth Villa game and I've seen Man City
watched the Bournemouth Villa game.
Turgid against Southampton.
From what I've seen, there's a handball claim and he goes to the screen but doesn't actually give it. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that.
That's very unusual.
Yeah. That was about, I mean, to be fair, the football yesterday was rubbish.
I wasn't even going to bother recapping the football of yesterday for the simple reason that the title's over, relegation's sorted, everybody qualifies for Europe already, so nobody cares how we get there. Yeah, Burnley and Leeds are probably in Europe next season for being promoted from the Championship, because that's probably an achievement in the world.
Now. Yep.
So the Premier League's kind of done. The Championship, we've moved into the playoffs, but that'll not get sorted until Bank Holiday weekend. So yeah, I kind of...
Yeah, it was rubbish.
I'm a bit done with the season. It's over. I just wanted to... We need to get to August and start again.
September.
Because I don't want to watch the Club World Cup. England are probably going to play at some point to qualify
against the Club World Cup. Then is it all summer that? It's a big tournament now, isn't it? It's like a 30-odd team tournament. Or it's not a big tournament in terms of what it means to anybody, because no one gives a flying monkey, is there? But there's going to be a lot of games. It's like a World Cup sized tournament.
Yeah, it's a full World Cup sized tournament that will run from June to July in America. The games are all on at stupid o'clock. They're all on DAZN, so nobody will watch it.
Well, there's one thing: Americans are used to watching rubbish football, aren't they? So it'll balance that out for them.
I mean, the end of the tournament will probably be quite good, like the end of the new format of the Champions League was good, because you'll have all the top sides that should have qualified, they'll get to the knockout stages, and then it'll get good. But I don't want to see Uriah Red Dragons play Bordeaux or whoever the hell's qualified for it.
The whole principle of a Club World Cup just doesn't work, does it? Because I understand it's meant, and again, we've gone from, why is it not the winners of each continent's major trophy coming together, where there should be 6 or 8, I don't know how many there is, major trophies across the world, where they all play each other, and you could kind of see that, but there's no other continent on the planet that's got a footballing team that could compete with us, is there now?
No, because if you look at, I mean, I think
South Americans and the Americans haven't got, they're going to compete with Real Madrid or Barcelona or Man City and Liverpool.
PSG, Chelsea, it's just, it should be
you come over this end, Australasia. I mean, I can't even think of a football team over here that winning the women's league, probably, never mind anything else.
Perth Glory, they could.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they finished, but they were very bottom last time I looked at them.
They're still very, very, very bottom.
I just don't. Again, it's a tournament that I suppose when you think about it, is quite a good idea to get the winners from all the confederations together. Maybe the 6 of them, and there's a little tournament that might have something.
But that's what we had originally.
And it was rubbish, to be fair. Nobody cared about it. Nobody wanted it. We took a rubbish tournament, putting more rubbish teams, and by rubbish teams I mean most of them that I've watched football all my life and I've never heard of them are in it now. I'm not sure what we've gained or what we got now. We've just got a massive tournament full of crap football teams and Real Madrid.
Yeah, and I mean, you'd think it's going to be dominated by the European teams. But it's played in America, and that the weather out there does tend to affect it. But you're going to expect that you're going to have a last four of the likes of PSG, Real Madrid, Man City, Chelsea, or something, which we've done in Champions League this season. So we don't really need to do it all over again in July in America.
It's just it's a pointless tournament, isn't it? But it's a money making thing, so it was not going to go nowhere, is it?
Oh yeah, it's just the same old, isn't it? We go around in circles, and they'll just keep playing all these tournaments until they've either all the players have had enough and strike, or they all just get very, very rich. One or the other will happen first.
Well, yeah.
So I think for this week, I'm going to say that's enough of football, because I've kind of have just come to the realization that the season's over and I'm done with it. And we need to wait for next season now. There's nothing left. And I think that the same could be said for Alpine. There's nothing left. They don't have any employees because they've all resigned again. So I don't know if you saw the story at the start of the week.
So I've seen the Doohan story, which I didn't look into because I thought I'd let you explain it to me, because when I read it, I don't understand it most of the time anyway. So Jack Doohan only signed from this season, didn't he?
Yes.
And has been sacked already?
Yes.
I mean, have we got the football mantra into Formula One where we don't even give them a chance to warm the seat up before we sack them? And I understand there's a lot more logic to football, which means a manager should stay longer than a Formula One driver. But as a young lad, what were they expecting from him in 4 races?
6, but yeah. He's done nothing. Yeah, he's had a couple of crashes. There was the one in Australia, but a lot of people crashed in Australia.
He's a kid, Alonso's crashed twice this season.
Yep.
It's
Charles Leclerc crashed on the way to the grid. So, things have happened. Things happen in motor racing. But basically, the full story of it is Colapinto, who reserved for Williams back end of last season, was picked up by Alpine over the winter.
Is this the story that, before you said, is this the story where, is this the guy they were going to sack before the season started, or is this not the same guy?
Yeah, so Jack Doohan was basically, he knew before getting in the car he was on borrowed time, because they basically...
So this is this guy that they'd said basically before the... Right, that's right then. So I know where I am now.
So he's done 6 races, but they've now brought in Colapinto because he brings in a lot of money from South America, and told him he's got the seat for 5 races. I don't believe that to be the case. I think it's just a good PR spin on the fact that they've sacked one driver. Colapinto will remain in that seat now for the end of the season, I think.
We're not going to bring that much money in 5 races, is it? Because we're going to put money in thinking he's going to be sacked in 5 races. I mean, people are going, well, I'll keep my money to myself. I mean,
but then on the back of that,
what money is he going to bring in from South America? What sources will that be from?
Oil. There's a lot of oil
in
South America.
Yes. No, that's it, yes.
But then on the back of that, the following day, Ollie Oakes, who is the team principal of Alpine Racing, resigned.
He's not a cricketer.
Ollie Oakes, no.
Yeah.
No. Adam Hollyoake was a cricketer.
Oh, yeah. I was saying, only a fast bowler for England.
But yeah, so Ollie Oakes, now there is rumours circulating why he's resigned. There are unconfirmed reports.
Not like the oil that comes out of South America.
Well, there are rumours that his brother's been arrested because him and his brother ran
the cricketer?
Nobody plays cricket in this story. Not one of them is anything to do with cricket. So him and his brother ran the high-tech Formula 2 team. Apparently his brother's been arrested for doing something dodgy to do with money and things. And then Ollie Oakes is...
South America. His oil looks like powdery.
So he's apparently left the Miami race and gone to Dubai, but he's known whereabouts and not confirmed.
Where the fuck's he gone from Miami to Dubai?
Just to get out the spotlight. So.
There's not like running away, is there? He's gone from Miami to Texas. He's gone from Miami to Dubai.
And
Fucking
then
hell.
the best part of this story is, though, he's resigned, and a man who in 2009 was banned from Formula One for life
Is this
will
Briatore?
now rerun the team he was banned from running in the first place.
I thought it was a bit weird how he came in anyway, wasn't it?
So a
He's
year
like,
after his lifetime ban was imposed, it was overturned, and it was reduced to something like 5 years, I believe, at the time. But basically, he's now come full circle to run the team that he was running when he got his lifetime ban, which I just find so
but
very, very wrong.
why did? Yeah, but it's like employing him was like I can't think of the logic behind employing. I mean, he's older than Formula One
Jesus.
itself, isn't he? I mean, Jesus Christ, he looks like Mad Professor out of Back to the Future, doesn't he? But it's just, I just don't understand why you'd bring him into your team when he's, yeah, it's just too much controversy, isn't there? And too much
He's
history
only been
there.
brought in for one
Just
reason and one reason only. And
play
no, it's not
cricket.
to fix Formula One races. They're selling the team. They keep denying
So,
it, but they are selling the team.
just to an oil baron out of South America. I know who's buying it. It's him, innit? That, I can't think of his name now. I'll come to me in a minute.
But yeah, so basically, Briatore will now take over as the team principal again,
Right.
while doing his other job that he was already doing. So Alpine managed to last 6 months before they imploded from the last time they imploded, which had been 3 months since the previous implosion. Yeah, it's going well.
So I take it they're not like doing very well, not making much money or succeeding in any way, shape, or
They
form.
don't succeed because obviously they're owned by Renault. Renault don't put any real effort into it. They've shut down the engine program. They're going to buy Mercedes engines. They're kind of playing at being a Formula One team at this point. They don't really care. They're not putting the effort in to make it a success. It's success for them is measured by how much money it makes, not by sporting achievement, which is just the wrong way to do anything in sport. But
Sounds like
that's kind of,
Tottenham.
yeah, it's what they're doing with the sole purpose, I still believe, of selling that team. Within the next 12 to 18 months, Renault will
But
have backed
when
out
you
of
say
Formula One.
selling the team, I can't imagine. I might be wrong here. That there's a massive queue of people looking to buy a Formula One team.
There is
You know,
an unbelievably long list of people trying to get into Formula One. And there is a lot of
really,
people. Yeah, there is a. You've got to think when they put out the
does
tender
anyone
for
make
the.
any money out of Formula One other than employees? Because to me, it just seems like a money pit.
It's a
Not
marketing
going to a football
exercise.
club. You know, I just
All the teams are now profitable. All the teams are valued at well over $1 billion. So yeah,
yeah, but
everybody's
that's
making quite a
based
lot of
on
money.
sort of paper money, and it's based on digital currency that doesn't really exist. How can you? It's like a football team, isn't it? I mean, technically they're worth absolutely nothing because all the players are on a contract and they don't own anything, do they? I just don't understand. Unless you've got an unbelievable amount of money that you're just willing to set fire to, as if you're Lance Stroll's dad, then I just don't understand why you'd want to be involved in it. I don't know. Is it just an ego thing? Is it just a
It's a
promotion thing? It's
for
just a worldwide
most
sport?
of the manufacturers, it's a great marketing tool. Few Mercedes winning a lot of Formula One races and World Championships will have driven up sales and it will have driven up
Oh yeah.
sponsorship, which generates a lot of money.
I mean,
Cadillac will come in and it will draw
if
massive money from America.
if Alpine win a title and no one's buying a Renault, mate.
No, because they want people to buy the Alpine sports car. That's why they're in the sport as Alpine, because they want you to buy that car, which nobody knows exists. And I think it's the A10 or something. The Alpine.
A12, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they're absolute crap. I mean,
Yeah, nobody's
you're not
ever
going to
bought
buy
one.
anything that's associated to Renault. They can put any name they want on it. It's Renault. You know, what sports car do you drive? Do you drive a Ferrari? No, I drive a Renault. I mean, imagine getting into Formula One and getting your company car and getting a Renault.
Renault Megane.
You know, there's Lance Stroll driving around in a Aston Martin
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie or whatever it is, and there's them driving around in a Renault Twingo.
Clio.
I mean, what's going on here? It's not really got the same, you know.
Doesn't have the same prestige,
Hamilton's
does
been
it?
given a one of one Ferrari, and he's got a Renault Megane. It's not really quite ticking the same box for me, is it? So yeah, and you can give me an Alpine, but I'm still not driving it under no
No,
circumstances.
I'm not. And
You
I
know,
don't think the drivers of Alpine actually want to drive the Formula
you
One
can
car either,
polish
if
a
I'm honest. I
turd
just
as
don't
much
think
as
they
you
do.
want, but it's still a turd, and I'm not buying one.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, they're a team on the brink of him just collapsing once again. Flavio will probably come in, and if
Get
one of the
mental.
two cars has a crash in one of the next few races, everybody's instantly going to be looking at Flavio going, what have you planned and how have you done it this time?
Yeah. Plotted, yeah. When one of them crashes into Max Verstappen, it was like,
So if Pierre
magic.
Gasly's near the front and all of a sudden Colapinto's in a hedge, there's a reason that Colapinto's in a hedge. That's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say.
I don't know why. Yeah, it all seems like a very far-fetched lot of crap to me. But
Yeah, I mean, if you said to somebody, told them this story, you'd said this is made up, this is fiction, this is TV. But no,
it's a
this is
Disney
Formula One.
story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually Formula One and what has happened. So
Fantastic.
yes, it's
So
another
Miami
strange
hadn't
world.
happened when we had Miami happened when we were on.
No, 'cause it was
that
last
Miami?
Sunday night.
Monday morning. It was Monday morning for me, weren't it?
Yes.
I thought Lando did well, having slagged him off for the week before, or the morning of the race. I thought he did quite well. I thought he drove quite well. I thought he made a mistake. Well, make a mistake. He sort of half-heartedly tried to overtake Max, and then afterwards, I thought he drove all right from there. I can't really criticize him too much.
But the initial mistake stops him winning the race.
Yeah, it does, and it's a Lando's type mistake, I suppose, isn't it?
I kind of forgived him for it, for the fact that he got a split-second decision to make. Max had gone deep. He saw a gap. Go for it. I get why you would go for it. He got very limited time to make that decision, and this is my chance to get in the lead. But hindsight, again, is 2020, and the car was that quick. He could have just pulled in behind him and passed him 5 laps later and run away.
But he seems to always make the wrong choice, doesn't he?
Yes.
And it's one of them. When you make one wrong choice, people forget about it. But when you do 10 wrong choices in a row, it becomes a news story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's, and it's like Man United in football now. Every time Man United lose, it's absolute comedy, because the first time they lost, it wasn't, but now it is. Lando, every time he makes a mistake now, it's a major issue, whereas it could have just been a mistake. But yeah. I thought after that he drove really well, and I thought he actually looked like he needed to look in the previous 5 races.
My only concern with him throughout that race is then when he caught back up to Max, he made such a hash of passing him again. It all took. I mean,
too long.
Oscar passed Max, and Lando had got within about 1.2 seconds of the lead. By the time Lando had passed Max, the lead was about 9 seconds. So he lost 9 seconds passing him over 4 laps. You've got to. These moves have got to be, boom, I'm coming, I'm through, get out my way, I've got places to be. And
Did Max was it the one? Was this where Lando took Max and Max took Lando back? Next to what they call the last corner, which isn't actually the last corner. Yeah.
Yes.
Because Lando didn't really move over. I mean, if Lando just held the inside line, Max couldn't take him, could he?
No, because as Max proved, as the new racing rules of this world now tell us that as long as you've got the inside line, you can do what you want. It's irrelevant. Push people into an edge.
Just drive to the edge of the track. As long as you stay on, the other guy is just an irrelevant piece of object, isn't it?
Which I don't really understand how we've got to a point in Formula One where.
Well, this all started back in Austria years ago, because there was an incident in Austria years ago. I think it involved Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc.
Nico Rosberg.
Nico Rosberg.
You mean the crash that they had where Rosberg didn't turn and then we ended up with them both off the road?
No.
Or do you mean the Max and Charles one, you mean? Is where Max passed Charles right at the end?
It runs in what? I'm sure it was Hamilton. Anyway, but there's an incident at turn 4, whatever it is, that one where they seem to run each other off, turn 5, whatever. And he's on the outside. So Charles is on. I'm going to say it's Hamilton and Charles. That's the story I remember. He's on the outside of him, and he says he doesn't leave him racing room. And I'm like, right, that's fine, but that then has to stay through the sport going forward. And that corner there almost seemed to be an outlier of Formula One. It was like, you're on the inside, it's your corner. The guy on the outside's been given preferential treatment. We're now moving forward to the point where that's not happening, is it? The guy on the outside's just basically, well, it's your own fault for being in a Formula One car. Get out of the way.
Yeah. To me,
I mean, it happened at turn 1 at Singapore. I mean, there's no way in hell Max is trying to make the corner at turn 1. He
Abu Dhabi, you mean, yeah.
Just drives basically to the edge of the track, but he did it in the United States Grand Prix last season. He basically goes up to the corner, drives past the corner as far to the top as he can, and just stays on the track himself. Well, that's forcing another driver off the track because there's no track for him to stay on.
Yeah, but what we've actually come up with is
a rule. If you don't make the apex of the corner, then unfortunately, you've not made the corner, have you? So if you don't leave enough track for a car when you've missed the apex, then you've forced him off.
The easiest way to do it is go back to space must be left at all times. Stop this who's made the apex and who can go where. If there's a car beside you, make sure it can drive on the road. Simple.
Yeah.
Stop all this, he made the apex first, because all that leads to is Max knowing the rules, plays them to his advantage, comes off the brake, gets to the inside first, makes the apex, and then says, well, if you're outside, it's your own problem. You can go where you want.
Yeah,
you can
which is what he did in that last turn, basically. Just came steaming down the inside, ran as wide as he could. And if you're a car on the track, you've got nowhere to go.
Yeah. And it's happened. It's becoming a thing now that all the drivers are knowing that as long as I get to the apex first on the inside, the other driver is irrelevant. It doesn't matter whether I hit them, doesn't matter
what
whether I
we
don't
need is him to do that to Lance Stroll, or we'll just drive into the side of him. And
or Liam Lawson, because he'll just drive into the side of somebody.
Just drive into people, and then he'll think, I'll not do that again, because that idiot doesn't know what's happening, because he'll just turn into me. The problem is you don't want Lando to do that, because you need Lando on the track, but you almost want somebody else to just say, yeah, that's all right, you take the inside line. I'll just drive into you. And we'll have a crash. Because that'll stop everybody then, won't it? But
yeah, but unfortunately, these are the rules that the FIA are making, and they've made it perfectly clear that if you get to the corner first on the inside, it's your corner, and it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense, and you're stopping racing happening now at this point, because you're saying as long as you're slightly ahead and on the inside, you can do whatever the hell you want, and it doesn't matter.
He did it in America, didn't he? Last year? I mean, he did it at turn 1, but then he did it at turn 12 and 14, whatever they were later on, where he just repeated the same thing. I mean, it happened to George, and they're talking about milliseconds, aren't they? Saying, well, George's is a penalty and his is not a penalty. I'm like, it's the same fucking incident. How can one be and one not be? You know, you're talking about where the car is, where the car isn't. Two cars need to be able to be on the track at all times. If you stop the other car being on the track, you're at fault, and that's it.
That's the easiest way of doing it, but we've done this overcomplicated, convoluted, written set of rules that don't make any sense, and they're not encouraging racing, and they're just making it a bit silly now, and we're going to end up with
VAR to Formula One. That would
oh god, no, we'd be here forever.
Bring that in. We'll have to stop race every 30 seconds to review a decision.
To send a man to a video screen in a corner.
And people in Championship don't know how lucky they are, do they? They just get to play football every weekend. They don't have to deal with
you could say that, but then you look at the officiating at lower levels, and then you've got really, really big issues, because there's an offside in one of the playoff games yesterday, which I don't know if you've seen. A ball comes into the box, striker heads it on. The guy that scores is about 4 yards offside, and that might be being kind. And they just give a goal.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm up for it. Let's go. Sounds great. At least when I go to work at least if I went to work on Monday, I could slag off the referee. At the minute, I slag off a guy in a box and don't even know who he is. And he got it wrong anyway.
Yeah.
And I have to... It's almost better that I watch games tape delay, because I have to fast forward all the VAR crap. So, yeah. What was the... So, was it Oscar, Lando? I don't remember the running order from last weekend.
Oscar, Lando, Russell, because Russell passed Max in the pit lane under the VSC.
Yes, he did, yeah.
But then there was one bit about that which has been discussed in various sources of media this week, which I definitely think is true. Max costs himself third place. If he doesn't fight Lando as hard as he did and lose 9 seconds messing around there,
that's his ego.
He comes out right behind Russell after the pit stopped. If he doesn't lose them 9 seconds, he's 9 seconds up the road and he finishes third. So actually, yes, and he made the race interesting, fighting, but actually cost himself more than what he gained in the end. I know it's only 3 points. It's not massive. It made it interesting, so fair enough. But actually, if you're looking at it from a really critical standpoint, his fighting was stupid.
Yeah, but that's Max, isn't it? That's the way he does things. He's never going to let anybody past him, because it's just not the way he does it, is he? So
no,
I don't think he can. He's never going to look at it that way. And I think, yeah, when you're racing, you probably don't, do you?
No, it's a hindsight thing of looking at it afterwards, where you would think,
So
yeah, if
we're
I'd done it that way.
back this weekend. I've seen an advert today, and I'm sure it said it was this Friday.
Yes. So I'm thinking, what day is it? Sunday.
Amelia,
Yes, on Friday we got away more.
Imola. That's the word I was trying to find.
Yes, I'm not going to give it its full name. It's just Imola.
Yeah, it is Imola. It's usually quite
Dull.
good, is it? I can't think.
Dull.
Is it dull?
Yeah.
This is where Bottas tried to kill Russell, or Russell tried to kill Bottas?
Yes, and
Down the
well,
main
we did have
straight.
one decent race when it
Rain.
rained, and then
Yeah.
Hamilton went off, reversed it out the gravel, was a lap down. We got a red flag. But literally, if it's a dry, sunny day, which it should be at this time of year, the track's not wide enough for these cars. It's a bit of a procession,
Yeah.
unfortunately, because it's too narrow these days.
It has a
So
long
it will.
straight, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not wide enough, really. And because there's a curve in the middle of it, you can kind of block off the road, so you can kind of defend quite easily onto that one. I think it's going to be another Grand Prix of whoever qualifies well, unless we get on anything unusual. Whoever's on pole should win.
Unusual? Well, what's going to happen? Earthquake?
I mean, an odd time safety car, red flag, rain, monsoon, Godzilla. Something of that nature that turns up that kind of makes it unusual. But I think if
But
it's just a
gonna be
straightforward race,
pole position. So far this season, we've had pole position wins it at Japan, pole position wins Singapore normally, because it's just a track that we follow each other around. It's going to happen at Imola. It's going to happen at Monaco in a few weeks' time.
it's straight after Imola.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Or the weekend after?
I'm pretty certain. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like is Monaco's even the one race that even when I'm playing Formula One games, I can't even stomach. Probably because I can't drive around it, but it's just it's boring even in a computer game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's the week after. We go from Imola to Monaco, so they're going to be two pretty dull races, unfortunately.
Fantastic. Is it on at my time? Is this a European 2:00?
Yes, it is. Both of them are. All we are in the European season now, so.
Fantastic. I know you said that, but we pop over to Canada, don't we, at some point doing it?
Yes, we do in the middle of the European season. We will just hop over to Canada because that's part of Europe.
Just Canada.
So we'll do
Fantastic.
Imola, Monaco, Spain, Canada, Austria, because that's logical.
I like Austria. Austria's brilliant.
I just wouldn't put Canada in the middle of it. It just seems a really stupid thing to do.
Yeah. It's like someone's just slipped with a pen, haven't they?
Oops, there we go. That'll do.
So we're back Friday. Friday.
Because it's not a sprint. It is just a normal weekend.
Normal weekend. What did you think of Miami?
It's crap.
It is, isn't it?
I mean, and it's now got a 147-year contract. The next time Miami isn't on the calendar, I'll be pushing 60.
It's becoming a problem now, isn't it? The Formula One tracks that are not that exciting to watch.
Just crap. Yeah.
There's just too many of them now.
All in a car park. Because they want all street races.
Yeah, we want old school, wide tracks, gravel pits, no runoff area, just gravel traps, grass, wide tracks, long straights, nice sharp braking points. We don't want street tracks.
You know what you basically just described there? Silverstone and Brazil, which are always two of the best races of the season.
I liked Portimao. That was similar. Lots of wide open areas. Bit what?
It was a bit narrow as a track. It's not easy to pass on.
You were down Main Straight that year when they all piled into each other.
That was Mugello.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
What's Mugello?
It was one of the other replacement races during COVID.
Oh, better. Much better. Yeah, just can't we get the old school tracks? But yeah, Brazil's brilliant.
Yeah, Brazil, Silverstone.
I mean, there's not been very many years where Silverstone's been dull, is there?
No.
I know it rains a lot usually. That does help. But
yes.
It's usually an exciting race.
Yeah, there's very few that go off without some sort of incident. Be it tyres exploding.
Speed as well, into the speed of the sweeping corners and the that's what brings the excitement to it. So next week's a procession. The week after is literally the epitome of a procession.
Yes.
It's like a funeral procession, that one. It's not even a fast procession, is it? It's just slow. And then where?
Spain.
Oh, Spain's quite good.
Yeah, Spain's all right.
Spain's old school.
Yes, it is. It's almost as old as school as we are.
Yeah. Has anything else happened?
No, we have summed up another week in the sporting
NFL's a
world.
long way off being back, isn't it?
September, usually, I think, and we're in
September, yeah.
May.
May,
The
June,
football
July.
season's about to end. F1's going into its dullest 2 weekends of the season. Yeah. So,
Well,
based
podcast will
on
get
that,
exciting next week, isn't it?
it is going to be interesting next week because we're going to have to find ways of rambling through an hour's podcast with very little to talk about
I need someone
without
to.
boring everybody more than we normally do.
Something drastic to happen on the football field, don't we? I don't know what could happen.
Nothing, because nobody cares.
Arteta gets sacked.
Everybody's on the beach. They've done for the season. It's all over.
Yeah.
And speaking of it being all over, for another week, as always, thank you all very much for listening and or watching us ramble through an hour of sports. We may or may not be back next weekend, depending which one of us decides to be on holiday or sat in the sun. And until next time,
I'm here.
we shall see you all again very soon.